All right, let's talk about Bad Empanada. So there's a reason I'm bringing him up. There's a reason why I'm saying the name of the person whose name you don't say on YouTube, because saying Bad Empanada 3 times into the mirror, he'll come and call you an American imperialist. And I hate that that is the case. I really do, because Bad Empanada is the bottom dweller of YouTube who comes around and harasses literally any streamer that isn't communist enough for him. It's really dumb. The reason I'm bringing it up is because I've had this pent up for about a month. So I just talked about what drove me into the hospital, right? And during that time, while I was in the middle of the spiral, Bad Empanada found my video I did a couple of months ago about Renegade Cut and one of his really dumb video essays. And he did not like this because of course he didn't. It didn't literally accuse the American military of doing everything bad in all of history. Yes, social psych explainer. By communist, we mean red fascist. That is true. That is essentially Bad Empanada's threshold. Yes, he is one of those leftist TM. Bad Empanada decided that while I was in the middle of my downward spiral into suicidality because, the state of the world was bad enough already, that he should come onto my channel, comment on my video, and then start sending his fans, people whose sole existence are to harass people like myself and Merrick and Alana McLaughlin and, other prominent trans women who just happen to disagree with him on one tiny issue of policy. Because generally speaking, I bet if we talked about specific critiques of ours of capitalism and of varying left-wing takes, we probably agree on a lot, if he actually is a communist. But because of that disagreement, because my take on the military wasn't that the military should be abolished and that anyone who joins the military is a war criminal and a murderer, he thought it good to, send his fans onto my Twitter, into my YouTube comments, where I received tons of messages calling me a terrorist, accusing me of being a murderer, because some of them apparently got the impression that I was a military vet, even though it was Rain in that video who was the military vet. Yeah, Sammy Depresso, his belief is literally every veteran is Hitler. Actually, every veteran to him is worse than Hitler, because he believes that the American government is worse than Hitler. I actually think he believes that. But he thought it was a good idea to come on to my stuff and do that. And by the way, I don't want to say that he should have known what was going on, because he shouldn't have. He's not a mind reader. He couldn't have known that I was in an active suicidal spiral. But that is kind of precisely why doing this kind of thing is always bad, because you can never know. And by the way, there were probably, I don't know for certain because I don't know how many of these comments got deleted. There were probably people that were very happy when it turned out that I was in the hospital, because there were a ton of them in my DMs and in my messages telling me to kill myself. There were a ton of them telling me that I deserved to be hanged for the crime of supporting the US military, even though that's not what I was doing. It doesn't matter if he knew or if he should have known, because he shouldn't have. There was no way he could. But that's precisely why this kind of stuff should never happen. Bad Empanada is a parasite. And I want all of you to know that I do consider it a moral problem to be supporting him. We all know why you can't separate the art from the artist. We all know that the death of the author doesn't work unless the author's actually dead. And Bad Empanada is in this weird space where a ton of people keep giving him leeway because he made one semi-good video a couple of years ago. I watched his Columbus video. I watched it right around the time that it came out. It was fine. I don't even, it's been that long since I've watched it, I can't even sign off on if it was an actual good video, because I haven't seen it in that. It's literally been years. But he made that one. He made that video. And because of that video, the conversation surrounding Bad Empanada always seems to be, well, yeah, he's a little bit insane. He's obviously like not a good person, but you know, he makes good content. No, he made one good video 4 years ago. He made one good video. And for that, he gets a pass for all of the times that he has harassed several people in the online life. For one, this man hates Merrick. Merrick DeVille, we all know Merrick DeVille. Merrick DeVille is lovely. Like, if you follow her on Twitter, Merrick DeVille, banger after banger. I've only ever been to one of her streams. Like, I watched one of her streams about a year or two ago, maybe a year ago, and it was fine. I don't know how like things have changed since then. I don't know if she's still streaming that much. Merrick is the kind of person that, by the way, will like, she doesn't do drama. She doesn't incite it. Merrick is like the sweetest person online. She literally tries to give credit to everyone. And for some reason, that empanada despises her. I don't have the screenshots. I did try to look for them. I think a lot of the stuff that has been posted between the two of them over the years, on both ends, by the way, has been deleted. Some of the that he has said about Merrick has been absolutely vile. It is just misogyny, by the way. It's just misogyny. The only thing that Bad Empanada hates more than the American government is women. That's why he keeps going after them. Now, the one exception we'll make is Vosh. He has a hate boner for Vosh. A weird one. It's actually kind of weird and creepy how out of the way he goes to hate on Vosh. And whether or not you like Vosh, I think it's perfectly fine to have criticisms of Vosh. But whether or not you like him, the way that Bad Empanada goes about this is super weird. He's doing the same thing with Keffals, by the way. I remember like a month or a month and a half ago, before I was in the hospital, seeing literally probably like 20 posts on his community page just about Keffals. Like post after post after post. It's so weird. And then, of course, the thing that reincites all of this a month after I get out of the hospital is he's going after Keffals again. Doing the same to her that he just did to me, that he's done to Alana McLaughlin, that he does to Merrick, that he does to Vosh. It's super disgusting. And the kind of that the people in his fan base said to me, not even counting just the usual, kill yourself threats and the threats to my life of, coming to hang me or, putting me up against the wall or the gulag or all of the other like LARPy things that he and his followers decide to say. Actual transphobic comments. Because, again, none of them are actually progressive. None of them actually care about minorities. They just care about hating America. The reason why I took so long to start this bit was because I was looking for this Twitter thread by Nick Dizzy, who has been wonderful. While I was in the hospital, this thread was being compiled. I just want to go over it because I think it is a very, very, very good and kind of really talks about what is wrong with Bad Empanada and why you should not, I don't care, why you should not be. So this tag here, by the way, is for Noah Samson, who, as Netspace mentioned in chat, Noah Samson has given credence to Bad Empanada. Not even 2 years ago, which is, wild. So let's read this. Noah Samson. Yo, dude, what the actual hell are you still doing giving time of day to Quesadilla Boy? The man literally sent a brigade on a trans woman yesterday for having criticisms of Renegade Cuts video on the military. She was suicidal and mobbed her. We've got, showing that Bad Empanada was being followed by Samson. So this was my tweet where I said, cool, I'm actually going through extreme emotional turmoil, but sure, now I get to learn that the Empanada has decided to make me his main character for the day. Also, Bad Empanada, get your facts straight, Vosh is my orbit. That is referencing that I believe Bad Empanada like posted that I was a Vosh orbiter on his Twitter account, and I was joking about that. I would like to say I actually don't remember making any of these posts. I was heavily dissociative that day. This is all news to me too. Yes, so here was my post where I said I'm just going to go now. This was my my post that day. This was me misunderstanding the neurodivergent and a minor joke that Bad Empanada was making because I'm not as terminally online as he is. And then this is where I made my I'm sorry, goodbye tweet. And then my sister made a tweet on my behalf after I was found. Which, by the way, you should go support my sister. Follow her on Twitter. At the Surfs. This is for you too. You've plugged Bad Empanada before, and you should know what he gets up to. Trans women's lives are not forfeit when they disagree with a white Aussie expat that minorities who can't get out of poverty via the military aren't worthy of death. I think that's supposed to say that believes minorities can't get out of poverty. Saige was getting tweets like this despite never defending U.S. war crimes, and these were just the abusive messages I found on this one tweet. I didn't check others. This is up, and if you defend and condone this, you're up. So let's read through some of them. You defend something terrible out of malice, and you should feel bad about yourself. Love how your emotional turmoil doesn't stop you from defending ameroids, terminally online, who permanently ruined my countries. Next time you just say the third world is worthless to me. You're gross, lol, imperialist devil defending the disgusting creatures poisoning Asia and Africa. I hope you face what they did at the hands of the Amis you worship. I'm going through extreme emotional turmoil, so I should be let off the hook as I spent hours defending the most genocidal, imperialist, violent force for enforcing global capitalist Western dominance on the planet through slaughtering millions of poor people in the third world. That's not what I did, but okay, go off. What did you say wrong, though? If you join the military, you're willingly participating in mass murder and genocide to some extent. In what ways is that incorrect at all? Well, you're just a pathetic imperialist like the rest. Who do you think you're kidding? These are all fans of Bad Empanada, by the way. This is just from Bad Empanada. You're nothing, you're less than irrelevant, you'll be swept up in the early wave and no one will ever remember you. You'll have pleased no one and built nothing. Here's hoping your situation deteriorates to the point where you're unable to make excuses for genocidal imperialism. That didn't say kill yourself, and I did get some that did say kill yourself, but that is telling me, by the way. Thing is, when the American military go through emotional turmoil, they kill us. So no, I don't care about your emotional turmoil or that you couldn't hack it flipping burgers, so you signed up. They really think I'm a vet. I look like a vet. This was the quote tweet. Also, fuck the U.S. military. It's a horrific institution that has done and continues to do evil, but enlistment is an illusion of individual choice, and if you think mass non-enlistment can end the U.S. military, you're a fool, as there's this little-known phenomenon called the draft. The U.S. war machine will either get meatbags via volunteers or it'll get them by the draft, and it's not, in fact, pro-imperialism to acknowledge that, and how individual soldiers who are disproportionately minorities fleeing poverty might elect to join with no other options, which, by the way, is all true. We aren't even getting into how many war crimes aren't done by enlisted U.S. military personnel, but by mercenaries. Individual vets aren't to blame for wars, and you should remember that many living U.S. vets were conscripted, including intellectually disabled Vietnam vets. Yes, Veronica, burger flippers is just repackaged conservative rhetoric. That's how you know people are. It's basic human knowledge that the wars were driven by the powerful who send the powerless off to kill and die with little we plebs can do about it. So I'm not telling an undocumented refugee he's worthy of death for joining the U.S. military so he doesn't get deported. Drop Bad Empanada or you're in no position to criticize anyone else's fans. I'm sick of dead trans women, and that piece of shit is hell-bent on making more. He doesn't have any productive ideas to end imperialism. He just wants some dead U.S. leftist trans women as revenge. With this tweet, towards Alana McLaughlin, the feeling when a prominent Twitch leftist streamer breadtuber tries to farm content by sending me messages encouraging suicide and suggests his followers do the same. Do you, I guess. I don't think that's particularly conducive to real revolutionary action, but what do I know? And then Bad Empanada says, you're damn right I did, fascist stormtrooper. Submit yourself to the justice of your victims. Literally just doing it, by the way. And he's actually proud of these DMs. Like, he thinks that this is good. I'm told Bad Empanada has found this thread, and that's very funny to me because apparently he was being big mad while I was literally taking a nap. Anyway, he's a freak, but he's also pathetic. Unlike him, I have real friends and I don't need to bully trans women online to feel like a big boy. Mixed Dizzy ended up getting blocked by Noah Samson. We don't know if he still follows Bad Empanada. It is almost impossible to tell at this point because Bad Empanada keeps getting banned and then making new accounts. So, and oh, by the way, I did block Noah Samson. Specifically because of this. The only reason I haven't blocked the serfs is I think the serfs, generally speaking, do much better work than their vague association with Bad Empanada serves them. But if the serfs continue to, advocate in Bad Empanada's favor, then I'm done with them too. I know the serfs tend to have this tendency, I guess, to associate with everyone. You know, they associate with all circles of the online, which, to be honest, is really quite toxic and really allows for a lot of really bad people to just be defended. But we'll see. So the reason why I went through all of that is because I just wanted to show one example, which kind of did encompass some other things. He did this to Keffels too, by the way, recently. In fact, I actually had to take a step away from Twitter for like a day. I had to go on private because in the midst of the Keffels stuff, I kind of got caught in the crossfire again, and it just started happening again over the same. By the way, we're still talking about this stuff like a month later. He does not stop. Bad Empanada is a bad person. Like, no bones about it. He is a human being. Any support of him, generally, I don't try to follow police. Okay? I don't try to follow police because I do understand that a lot of people will sometimes follow accounts that they don't agree with in order to keep an eye on them. Now, there's an argument to be made that you can just do that with like Twitter lists and like you don't have to actually follow them. But I get it. It's simpler, makes it a little bit easier to dunk on people sometimes. I get it. I'm still not going to follow police people on Twitter over this. I am, however, going to say this. If you continue giving credence to Bad Empanada, you are, like, your beliefs are antithetical to the kind of beliefs that I want in my community. Bad Empanada's entire political beliefs can be summed up as America bad, and the only thing he lives for anymore is causing drama in the service of attacking trans women on Twitter. That's all he cares about. I have been done with Bad Empanada for a long time, and other people need to be done with him. Other creators need to be done. If you were ever a fan of his, if you were ever on that like fence, you know, where you weren't entirely, like, you hadn't written him off entirely, now is the time. This man is insane, and he should not be taken seriously about anything, and you should just forget about him. The reason I'm talking about this is because I have had this pent up for about a month, and I am not going to let that go. That is all that I really have to say. I will see you next. Hi, thanks so much for watching. If you like this video, please consider leaving a like, comment, and subscribing to the channel. And if you want to support the channel further, consider leaving a donation at streamlabs.com/sagealexis/tip, becoming a channel member by clicking the join button, or going to patreon.com/sagealexis and becoming a patron. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.